Check it out. That's my dental implant underway right now. I thought I would do like a little video just about the process of me getting this dental implant here in Taiwan. Boy, the lighting isn't very good here. It makes me look like dark shadows here, but no, I've been sleeping fine. So anyways, I'm here in Taiwan, and while I was here, I'm getting this dental implant done. And to make a long story short, I went to four different dentists outside of Taiwan, in America and China total. And none of them could really tell me what was going on with my tooth, that I had some pain. I had a root canal done on this tooth like 20 years ago, and now it started giving me some pain. So I went, to the US, I went to China. They did basic x-rays, they couldn't tell me anything. Then I went to a dentist here in Taiwan. He told me, he said, well, if I do a 3D CT scan of your mouth, he said we can have a really good look at it in about 5 minutes. So, and he said it was going to cost 2,000 Taiwan dollars. So that's about $60. So I said, okay, let's go ahead. And boy, I was glad we did this, because after I got the scan back, he could show me exactly where, zoom way in. I mean, the size of my tooth on a scan screen was like this big. And you could see so much detail. And you could see exactly where the root was broken. And the interesting thing is this tooth had 3 roots. And the doctor told me this is really unusual. He said he's never seen a tooth with 3 roots before in his whole life. And he said, especially in Asia, you never see it, but it's a little more common in the West. But even then, it's rare. So, and he showed me how there were 3 roots, and 2 of them were pretty small, and the 3rd one was large. And he said that's the main root that they could have used to reattach my crown, but that is the one that was broken. So he said it's not going to work to use those roots. No pressure, basically. He said the best way to handle it is do an implant or just don't do anything. He said just pull it out. And I said no, it's not going to work. I got to have this tooth. So anyways, we started the process. So basically, he gave me a total cost estimate of around 40,000 NT dollars. So that is like $1,200 basically. And it's much cheaper than mainland China, and also way cheaper than the US. And it's about the same price as my brother's gonna pay to have his done in Spain with their public health system. So it's a pretty good price, and I've started on getting the whole thing done. First thing was to pull the roots out of the old tooth, and then wait about a month, which we did already. Pulling the roots out and everything was kind of nasty. A lot of crunching sounds, cracking as he's like breaking the root. And then pulling all the pieces out. And then I went home like with a big bloody gauze in my mouth and just drooling blood out and stuff. It was really gross, but it wasn't too bad. I slept well that night. He told me that I should take antibiotics, but I told him I really don't want to take antibiotics. And he said, okay, I understand, you don't have to then. So I didn't take antibiotics. Yay. And, sorry, bumped the camera. So I didn't take antibiotics. Everything was fine. No infection, nothing, no problem. You know, the body has the immune system to handle that stuff, I think. So I really didn't want to do the antibiotics. And then now a month later, we had scheduled to do the surgery. And so I went in, and I thought that it was going to be fairly simple. He told me that we had to do a bone, he calls it a bone graft, but actually it's not like they take bone from one place and move it to another, which I think is the normal definition of a graft, where you You know, like a skin graft, they take some skin off your butt and, you know, put it on somewhere else, right? So in this case, it's kind of interesting what they did. First, they numbed me all up. And then I went to this clinic across the street where they drew some blood, like a test tube of blood. And then they told me that they're going to take this blood into their lab at the dentist's office, and they're going to centrifuge it. And I guess they're going to use the plasma and mix it with the bone powder, some bone, powderized bone, and then pack that in up against my existing bone, and it's somehow going to grow onto it. Something like this, right? So anyways, they got me all numbed up, we did the blood, and then they said, okay, we're going to move to the other room now. And we went down there in their office into this other room. It's like a full-blown operating room with the whole lights, you know, upside down mounted computer, everyone in blue gowns, and then they put me in a blue gown. They covered my face with just a hole like this showing around my mouth. And then they used betadine on my whole face and inside my mouth. Betadine solution, that stuff is nasty. And then they started the procedure, and it took a long time. It was like, I don't know, it was like 20-30 minutes, I guess. The whole time I'm doing it, the dentist is like playing like hits from the 70s, like American hits, and he's singing along with them, you know. He's singing along to like Barry Manilow, the Bee Gees, you know. Nobody gets too much heaven number. All this goes. And while he's doing it, and then I wasn't unconscious, I was just numbed up. Then I went home again with a huge thing of gauze in my mouth, and again the antibiotics. The antibiotics were given to me when I got to the office before I even saw the doctor that day. And I said, what are all these pills? And they gave me like 4 different pills. And they said, oh, these 2 are antibiotics, and this one is some, I forgot what the other 2 were. So anyways, I went to the doctor again, and I said, I really don't want to take the antibiotics. And he said, okay, you don't have to take them. He said, but, you know, this is the best practices. I'm supposed to give these to you. But he said, like, if you don't want to, then okay, you don't have to do it. My face looks, I think my eyes just look too dark here. It's driving me nuts. I'm going to turn this light on and see if that does anything. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, it's better. So, what happened next? Oh, so then I went home and I looked in the mirror and I couldn't believe there were like stitches all over the place. Like they were up on the side here and underneath, and on the inside there were several stitches. And I could feel them with my tongue. You know, it didn't feel good, but that's what it is. So now he explained to me what he did is I think he had to like expose the bone. So he had to like cut up to the bone and then like peel it open, I guess, and take this bone powder mixed with blood somehow, pack it in there, and then put some kind of membrane over it. He said the membrane will dissolve away, but right now there's like a waterproof membrane up there pressing up against the bone material to keep the saliva from rinsing it away, I guess. Now it's been 2 weeks later, and yesterday I went and had the stitches taken out. And actually last week I also went in. After he did the surgery, he told me, he said, most doctors will charge extra for this, but I don't charge for it. He said, because I want my patients to do it because I think it's good. I don't want it to be something they think about paying for. And that is, he gave me this laser therapy. There's this laser that like sucks, is a suction cup that sucks onto your face here, and the laser just shoots light into here. He said that it speeds up the healing. And actually, Dave has one of these laser healing lights, Dave, my brother. And he claims that it really helps him heal all of his volleyball injuries. So I guess they really work, and the doctors told me just come in there, just walk in twice a week, anytime that they're open, and just tell the staff I'm here for a laser, and he said they'll just take you back and give you the treatment. And it takes like 10 minutes. They just put this little thing that sucks onto your face, and it just runs 10 minutes, and that's it. So I've done this, I've been doing this twice a week now, and he said everything's healing well, but there was one funny thing that happened, and that is last week, a week before I was supposed to get the stitches out, I noticed on the stitches on the side here, there was just like this white stuff covering all the stitches that looked like, it was just white, it looked like yogurt or something, you know, and I thought, oh, this must be like an infection and my body's, you know, these are white blood cells or something like that. But it kind of concerned me, you know, I just thought, maybe this is not normal. So I went in there and I said, you know, can you take a look at this? Is this normal or not? And he was like, oh, let me take a look. And he's like, oh, let's take a look at this. And he like went and got his scissors and he like snipped off the stitches and he pulled them out. And he said, I took out a couple stitches for you. And I said, well, what was that growing on them? He said, oh, it's debris. Debris. He said, yeah, it's food. So I don't know, I didn't really believe that because I kind of rubbed on it before and, you know, tried to see if that stuff would rub off, but it didn't rub off, this white stuff. Anyways, he's like, yeah, rinse your mouth a little bit. So I rinsed my mouth and nothing really came out, just a little bit of blood came out. So then I left his office. This was all free of charge. And I was a little thirsty. I went and got something to drink. Forgot exactly what, water or something. And then I went to a bathroom someplace and I kind of rinsed my mouth again a little bit. And this big glob of like white goo came out of my mouth. It was really gross. Like a huge white booger that came out of, and like two of these blobs came out. And you know, they just look, what it made me think is it looks like noodles that were like, you know, digesting in my mouth. So there must have been like some cavity in there that was like getting packed with food and just like, so gross. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, that was done. And now it brings us up to today. Yesterday I got the stitches out. Today my dentist is flying to mainland China because he has an office in mainland China. He has two actually. And he told me that even though he's going to have to go there and quarantine, that he still is going to go there because he said he has patients that have been waiting there for several months now and he has to see them. So he went there, he's got to go there, quarantine 2 weeks, then probably do like his work for a week and then come back, quarantine again 2 weeks here. And so I have an appointment, I think on October 7th now to go just get a check. He's just going to do a check, nothing. And I think I have to wait maybe 2 more months for the bone graft to be solidified so they can put the implant in, which is like a screw that's going to get put in there. And so that's where it is right now. So far I've paid about, let's see, $15,000 for the surgery, $2,000 for the x-ray, and $2,000 apparently for the blood handling thing. I don't know. Anyways, all in all, so I've paid like $19,000 so far. So like not quite $600 for all this. So we'll see what happens next. I'm kind of curious how much they're going to charge for the crown and where they're going to do it, because now I've heard there are labs, there are dentist offices in Taipei where they can make the crown in their office. They don't have to send out. They can do it the same day. So I want to see how that's going to go for me. So that's it for now. I'll keep you posted on my implant progress